I had already broken off the engagement with Willow, the CEO's fiancée, but she refused to believe it and even thought I was jealous of her little assistant. She even threatened that if I didn't bow my head and apologize to her assistant before the wedding, she would marry him on the spot instead. What she never expected was that on the day of the wedding, not only did I not show up, I flew to another city to marry the nation's beloved film queen. What I didn't expect was that just 3 hours after Willow saw the live stream of our wedding, she barged into the venue, and the video of her failed attempt to sabotage the ceremony went viral across the entire internet. Chapter 1. The day I risked my life to win the Best Actor Gold Award. The host asked me to call the person I was most grateful for. I dialed Willow's number and explained why I was calling, but her impatient voice came through the speaker. If winning this award can bring me a few projects, fine. If not, don't call me. The whole venue went silent. My embarrassed expression instantly went viral, yet the next moment, Willow posted a picture on Instagram of her male assistant looking pitiful. Some silly little idiot lost the contract again, but this time it only made me lose 100 million. That's progress. He deserves praise. Seeing that, I suddenly felt everything was pointless. I dialed the number of my arch-nemesis, the Best Actress. You were right. Someone who doesn't love me will never love me, even if I win Best Actor. A bet is a bet. I'll marry you. Then the wedding is set for 7 days later. I'll wait for you. Just after I hung up, Willow pushed the door open. Her eyes swept lightly over the trophy in the display cabinet. You're back from the awards ceremony. I won't be home for dinner tonight. Company gathering. Then she hurriedly grabbed a gift bag from the coffee table and left. I watched her back, unable to say the words, I want to talk about canceling our engagement. Forget it. It's only a verbal engagement anyway. 7 days from now, I'll be marrying Anna. Everyone in the city will know. My assistant David suddenly called me. George, the hotel for the wrap-up banquet is booked, room 808. Come quick. I immediately drove over. Unfortunately, right next to the private room in 807, I heard a familiar voice. President Liu is really generous to Makoto. This RM watch is a classic model, worth over 5 million, right? Willow's lips curved with a faint smile. Makoto likes it, so I gave it to him as a year-end bonus. My whole body stiffened. Through the crack in the door, I saw Willow leaning in Makoto's arms, eating the shrimp he fed her in small bites. There was a banner on the wall. The adorable puppy boy toy lost 100 million again, and the beautiful CEO is working overtime to coax him. A waiter happened to walk out after serving dishes, and I hurried to put on my mask, pretending to ask casually, is this a company gathering? Why such an exaggerated banner? The waiter answered as if it were normal. Oh, the CEO of the Liu Group is holding a celebration banquet for her assistant. That assistant can lose 100 million and still be praised. But we wage slaves get our pay docked for being 1 minute late. But the boss spoils him. He just has to act cute or do a playful sweep leg dance. And the lady boss melts. My chest tightened. At some point, Willow, who once loved me like her life, had changed. No matter how hard I tried, she began to ignore everything. When I worked hard to land my first commercial, she just said, blind luck. You won't get another chance next time. When I won an award for my first theater play, she scoffed. Actors are just performers selling smiles and bodies. This award is cheap. Don't show it off to me. I felt wronged and thought it was because I wasn't working hard enough. Later, when I graduated top of my film academy class in the capital, I even skipped my commencement speech and rushed to wait under her dorm, just to hear one compliment. But in the woods, I saw her tightly hugging the junior, Makoto. Makoto looked sorrowful. Willow, my advisor said I might have to delay graduation because I failed a course. Why am I so stupid? Willow stood on tiptoe to pat his head, her expression gentler than anything she had ever shown me. You're not stupid at all, and with me here, you won't delay graduation. As soon as you graduate, come to my company and be my personal assistant. Seeing this, my heart ripped open. When Willow turned her head slightly, I fled in panic. At the time, I treated it as a minor incident. After all, Willow loved me deeply. She had rejected countless wealthy heirs far richer and more powerful than me for my sake. It was impossible she'd fall for Makoto, a student. After we got engaged, I worked even harder, hoping for more of her affection. But now I understand. They are exactly like characters from a novel. The dominant CEO heroine and the adorable clueless puppy boy male lead. Willow never cared whether someone was outstanding. As long as she liked him, no matter how dumb he was, she would tolerate him. And someone who doesn't love me, no matter how hard I try, she will never love me. Composing myself, I pushed open the door of room 808. Unexpectedly, one of Liu Group's managers waddled over with a big belly. The waiter said there's a D-list male celeb here. Our boss's boyfriend is having a celebration banquet. Tell that little celeb to do a sweep leg dance to liven things up. If he performs well, President Liu will invest in his future dramas. David snapped. What do you mean D-list celeb? Our George is. I pressed down David's hand and asked calmly, "How much does President Liu spoil him?" The manager immediately began counting on his fingers. Recently President Liu bought Assistant Ito a Ferrari, just because he accidentally spilled coffee and got scared, when he got a pentakill in a game. She even made that day a company anniversary and gave everyone bonuses. I heard President Liu lit up the Sky Lantern auction to buy a 10-carat diamond ring. Looks like the two of them are close to tying the knot. Chapter 2. Everyone held their breath in fear. Everyone knew Willow was my fiancée. My phone wallpaper had been the photo of us holding hands for 3 years. David couldn't help muttering under his breath. Keeping someone that stupid around instead of firing him, insane. He didn't notice that the hand hanging at my side was trembling uncontrollably. All these years, the only ring Willow ever gave me was a plain silver band from a street stall outside our school, 50 yuan. And even that was something I only got after fighting desperately to earn first place in my entire major. "Hey, are you going or not? President Liu is still waiting. Get lost." David shoved the men out. I took a deep breath in my heart. Don't mind it. There are only a few days left before I can leave this suffocating relationship. I raised my glass and toasted everyone. Everyone. My new movie Velvety Warmth is about to start filming. When the time comes, I hope you all can help promote it. The atmosphere in the private room eased a little. After eating a little bit, everyone dispersed. Late at night, Willow came home. Her cheeks slightly flushed. She didn't see the sobering soup I cooked. She only held an empty glass and let out a self-mocking laugh. "I heard you chased me to the hotel. Since you came, why didn't you come in to see me? My staff had to invite you again and again." "Well, right. You're a best actor now. Big ego. Who could persuade you?" I said calmly. "You were holding a celebration banquet for your boyfriend." I didn't want to interrupt. Willow froze for a moment, then spoke, displeased. "Are you that petty and narrow-minded? Employees were just joking. Makoto is my assistant and also my junior from school. He's worked hard these years. It's perfectly reasonable to reward him with a celebration banquet." Worked hard. Makoto losing a project worth 100 million counted as worked hard. But when I drank myself half dead at business banquets with investors, damaging my liver, just to secure resources for her, what did that count as? Once, I forced down 2 caddies of white liquor just to beg an investor to take a loss for Willow and salvage a nearly collapsed deal. The investor agreed, but when I clutched my cramping stomach and happily told Willow the good news, she looked at me with disgust. "A man should stand tall on his own. You relying on drinking with men to get investments for me is the same as selling your soul. I don't want dirty money like that. You know how filthy the entertainment circle is better than I do. Don't volunteer to jump into the cesspool." I stood there helplessly. The contract transfer letter in my hand felt unbearably heavy. I thought it was because I wasn't capable enough, because I couldn't help her with my own ability. I let out a bitter laugh. "Willow, let's break up." Willow rubbed her temples. "My head hurts. I'm not in the mood to deal with your tantrum." I was about to say I was serious when Willow's phone rang. "Sweetheart, I got cut by a blade." The moment Makoto played the victim, Willow immediately grabbed her car keys and rushed out. "You cut your hand? Why are you so careless? I'm coming right now." "George, go to bed early." Makoto faints at the sight of blood. "I need to check on him." She left like a gust of wind, and didn't come back the whole night. I didn't sleep at all. Early the next morning, I took a document to the Liu group. It was the joint savings both families had put aside for our engagement, principal plus interest, totaling over 200 million. Since I'd already decided to call off the engagement, and I also needed funds for my new movie, it was time to settle it. But just as I walked through the company entrance, someone sprayed chili powder directly into my face. Makoto burst into laughter and came over with his phone to film. Haha. Let me see which unlucky guy was late this time. Chapter 3. My face burned violently. I'm allergic to chili powder. Makoto looked shocked. Sir, who are you? You don't seem like one of our employees. Enduring the pain, I said. Do you know this already counts as intentional injury? I can sue you. At that moment, Willow stepped out of the president's private elevator. When she saw me, tension flashed through her eyes, just for a second. Then her expression cooled. What happened to your face? Makoto stuck out his tongue and saluted her playfully, reporting. Sweetheart, this guy got hit by our employee tardiness penalty, but he says I intentionally hurt him and wants me punished. What should we do? Willow gave him a pampering look, then turned a cold gaze back to me. George, don't make a fuss. This is indeed our company's punishment for employees who arrive late. You just happened to run into it. Watching the two of them interact, my heart sank. I remembered back in school, once, I wasn't looking where I was going and bumped into the campus bully, and the bully slapped me. I didn't think much of it, but Willow was furious all day. After school, she brought her family's bodyguards and dragged the bully into an alley to beat him up. If you dare bully George again, I'll have you taken care of permanently. This daughter of a wealthy family, always arrogant and aloof, protected me as if she were protecting her own life. No one dared to touch me again. But now, Makoto sprayed me with the chili powder I feared most, and she didn't care at all. When did Willow begin to change? I didn't know. As I walked closer, I noticed a faint reddish mark on Willow's neck, ambiguous, intimate, the spoils of a night she hadn't come home. She noticed where I was looking and awkwardly covered her neck. Mosquito bite. I scratched it. Mosquitoes in the dead of winter. A flimsy excuse. I wiped my face with a wet tissue. Even if the company punishes employees for being late, you at least need a time clock record first. You punish after hearing the beep of late. My fingerprint was never registered in your system. He clearly recognized my face and sprayed me on purpose. I can sue. Makoto's face turned pale and he moved closer to Willow. President Liu, I really didn't mean to. Don't be afraid. In the Liu group, I won't let anyone touch you. Willow gave him a reassuring glance, then turned half-mockingly toward me. Movie star Wong showing up early in the morning to cause trouble at my company. Should I sue you instead? Soft whispers rose around us. Isn't that the new best actor, George? Is he close with President Liu? I think he's trying to seduce President Liu. TSK. Anyone can see President Liu only likes Assistant Ito. He doesn't stand a chance. My face felt like it was roasting over a fire. I took a deep breath and handed her the document. Sign it. The surroundings instantly fell silent. Seeing the words on the document, Willow grabbed my arm and pulled me upstairs, all the way to her office. What exactly are you trying to do? I said it yesterday. We're breaking up. We need to settle things. Willow narrowed her eyes, leaning back in her chair. What tricks are you playing now? I know you're jealous. Makoto is my junior. You throw a tantrum over me looking after him once, and you talk about breaking up. I don't have time to play house with you. Take your papers and leave. I put away the document. It didn't matter if she didn't sign. I only needed my portion of the funds anyway. As I turned to leave, Willow called after me again. Go apologize to Makoto. You scared him earlier. I said nothing. Even though I already knew this would be the result, my heart still hurt uncontrollably. A complicated look flashed through Willow's eyes. Makoto isn't like you. He's simple-minded and innocent. Don't use your entertainment industry tactics to scare him. Makoto came in with reddened eyes. Willow, I heard everything. I didn't know he was your fiancé. If I'd known, no matter how wronged I felt, I would never dare ask him to apologize. But in the next moment, I spoke gently to him. I'm sorry. Chapter 4. Willow hadn't expected me to apologize so quickly. Her expression froze in surprise. She still wanted to say something, but I had already turned and left. There were only 6 days left before I could walk away from Willow completely. I didn't want to waste any more time on meaningless arguments and entanglements. That evening, I had to attend a banquet, a promotional gala for the new movie. It was filled with elites and major figures from the investment world. Before entering, I took a deep breath. Even if love was gone, at least I still had a career I was proud of. Wearing a luxurious handcrafted black suit, I held a wine glass and mingled with the investors, discussing the future of the film. When they heard about the cast of Velvety Warmth, many investors' eyes lit up with excitement. Mr. Wong's mother was a famous screenwriter. We've always wanted to collaborate. Best actor Wong is the fiancé of President Liu, with the Liu Entertainment Group behind him. This film will surely do well. I forced an awkward smile. Although I was signed under Liu Entertainment, Willow had practically kept me half-shelved, barely investing in any of my projects. For the past 2 years, every film and show I landed came from the reputation I built step by step on my own. As the atmosphere reached its peak, a server pushed in a half-mental custom fondant cake. I had it made specially for the movie, fondant figures modeled after the main characters, costing over 100,000. Under everyone's attention, I walked toward the stage and picked up the microphone. The next second, Willow walked in, holding Makoto's hand. She wore a light blue silk gown, while Makoto wore a matching blue suit, a perfect pair of matching couple outfits. The sight pricked at me sharply, but I had never informed Willow about the banquet, so why was she here? So that's why you obediently apologized this morning, because of this. Willow casually handed me a check. Here. Today was supposed to be Makoto's birthday, but he heard you were raising funds for your new movie and kindly came to help promote it. Makoto likes movies. Make a good one, we'll go support it. Whispers rippled around us instantly. I didn't take the check. Instead, Makoto walked toward the cake with admiration in his eyes. It's so beautiful, sweetheart. Can I have a piece first? Willow smiled indulgently. Of course, it's your birthday. Makoto reached for the fondant figure on top. My heart tightened. I rushed forward to stop him, but Makoto used my momentum and deliberately fell straight into the cake. With a loud crash, the cake collapsed. Porcelain shards stabbed into my arm. Blood immediately poured out. Makoto's eyes reddened. George. I know you hate me, but why did you push me? Blood mixed with cream and fondant, just like my chaotic, humiliating situation. Willow rushed over, but instead of looking at me, she shoved me aside and anxiously checked Makoto for injuries. Finally, She held his slightly swollen knee. It was just a cake. Why did you push him? Look, his knee is swollen. I hurried to explain. That wasn't an ordinary cake, that was. Enough. Willow helped Makoto up, cutting me off coldly. Just because you won Best Actor, you think you can act like a diva? For someone like you who bullies others, Lu Entertainment won't invest a single cent. I stared at Willow in disbelief. The cake I had commissioned took the fondant master 3 days to craft. Every detail was symbolic of wishing the film's production to go smoothly. It was meant to be displayed, not eaten, and everyone had planned to take photos with it later. Now, because of Makoto's carelessness and clueless stupidity, the carefully crafted cake was ruined. The looks around us shifted from curiosity to judgment. People whispered behind their hands. Aren't the Liu and Wang families already tied by engagement? What's going on? People change. Look at how President Liu treats George. Obviously that guy is her real fiancé. The cake's destroyed. That's a bad sign. What if the movie flops too? Each piercing word stabbed into my chest. My eyes felt like ash. Willow, have you forgotten what this movie means to me? Something flickered in Willow's eyes. Surprise. Guilt. Confusion. Willow. Makoto cut her off with a bitter smile. I'm sorry, it's all my fault. I made George angry. Someone like me should just die instead. Willow's brows furrowed deeply. Ignoring the crowd, she held onto Makoto's hand. When they left, she even stepped on the fondant figure's face, crushing it completely. She left behind a scene of utter ruin, and blood still streaming down my arm. My face was pale as paper. I covered the wound, but still forced a polite smile. Sorry for the spectacle. The movie begins filming tomorrow. I hope all of you esteemed investors will continue to support us. I will deliver a work that satisfies everyone. Chapter 5. The perfectly good banquet had been ruined. Back in the lounge, as I treated my wound, my assistant David choked up. George, this is going too far. Everyone in the industry knows Willow is your fiancée. Isn't she publicly humiliating you by doing that? I stayed silent, staring at the gash several inches long on my arm. What I was really thinking was whether this would delay tomorrow's shoot. What hurt me the most wasn't Makoto's intentional sabotage. It was that Willow had long forgotten what velvety warmth meant to us. My mother had been a famous screenwriter. Velvety Warmth told the story of a poor orphan walking out of the mountains and achieving his dreams step by step. It was her final work. I was born into a treacherous wealthy family. My father's illegitimate children were eyeing the inheritance, and my mother had been my only source of emotional support. After she died, the only way I could obtain resources from my father was by winning everything. I couldn't let my mother's hard work be buried. I took her script and visited countless directors, but they all said that because the first half of the film needed to be shot deep in the mountains of Liangshan, and the scenes had to be recreated realistically, the filming would be difficult and costly. My father was heartless, and with his mistress whispering in his ear, he refused to give me a single cent. When I was at rock bottom, it was Willow who gave me the first investment. She came from a single-parent home. Her mother wasn't around, so my mother used to invite her to our house often. Willow had always been grateful. That day, Willow stood before my mother's grave, her eyes red. Auntie, I'll stay by George's side. From now on, every movie he makes, I'll finish with him. In that moment, I truly felt grateful to her, and because of that, I pushed myself so hard in the entertainment industry. Now, I had finally become a best actor, had my own place in the industry, and no longer needed to beg investors like a rookie. I never expected that the first person to stab me in the back would be her. David suddenly gasped beside me. George, that guy's smearing you online. Look. I quickly opened Instagram. The #1 trending post was, George shamelessly meddles in someone else's relationship. Makoto had just uploaded the video of me pushing him into the cake tower, along with a photo of Willow gently rubbing his wrist. The caption read, as long as you're by my side, any pain is worth it. Netizens flooded into my Instagram accusing me of being a homewrecker. Isn't this intentional harm? What kind of person is George? Someone like him deserves to be best actor. Poor Makoto. He looks so wronged. George is so dirty, he'll probably bully Makoto again. Everyone boycott George's new movie Velvety Warmth. A storm of negative comments poured into the movie's official page. Each sharp, accusing sentence felt like needles stabbing my heart. Assistant Tang rushed in, panicked. George, bad news, the investors want to pull out because of the scandal. Get PR working immediately. I'll call Willow. I dialed Willow. It rang over 10 times, but Makoto answered. Willow's in the shower. If you have something to say it to me. I took a deep breath. I have something urgent to discuss with Willow. Very important. Let her answer. Makoto gave a cold laugh. What does your urgency have to do with me? I'm injured because of you. Willow is cooking for me later. Did you know Willow took a chef's certification last month just to take care of my stomach? George, you can't even keep a woman. What's the point of living? He hung up violently. When I tried calling again, the phone was turned off. My grip tightened on my phone until my knuckles turned white, but I forced myself to stay calm and posted on Instagram. I have never interfered in anyone's relationship. I have a fiancé, and in 4 days, our wedding will be held. Please do not slander my mother's final work. Within minutes, the video reached over 1 million views. I didn't yet know the real storm was coming. Back home, I began packing my luggage. Soon after, I collapsed onto the sofa from exhaustion. Thunder rumbled in my ears. When I opened my eyes again, a flash of lightning illuminated Willow's dark, stormy face. Chapter 6. I jumped in shock, only to be slapped hard across the face by Willow. Who told you to post online about us getting married? Are you trying to ruin Makoto? My cheek burned, but my heart was already numb. It wasn't me. I tried to explain, but Willow's brows were tightly furrowed. If it wasn't you, then who? You're the only one who hates Makoto that much. Hurry up and post a statement clearing Makoto's name, and don't mention the wedding again. In 4 days we will have the ceremony, but absolutely not publicly. If it gets too big, Makoto will be attacked. I coughed and explained. Willow, the person I'm marrying isn't you. A cold smile lifted her lips. Heh, not me. Everyone in the industry knows George is my simp. You say you won't marry me, who'd believe it? Makoto is innocent and too kind. He can't outplay someone like you. You'll go clear his name now and announce you're leaving the industry. Otherwise, I'll make sure Velvety Warmth never sees the light of day. Boom. She was actually forcing me to quit the industry. My mind went blank. My lips trembled. Willow, do you know what you're saying? Willow's voice was icy. You know I always mean what I say. The Lu Group's entertainment branch was powerful enough to monopolize the film industry, and I knew Willow kept her promises. She herself once promised to fill every Lu-owned cinema with screenings of Velvety Warmth, and now it was the same person, trying to crush that promise with her own hands. Seeing me swaying, something like reluctance flickered in Willow's eyes, but her voice stayed hard. Of course I know what I'm saying. Look at what the entertainment circle turned you into. Ever since you entered that industry, you became greedy, manipulative. You'd even smile and drink with old producers just to get a role in some trash web drama. And now you're bullying an innocent person. I won't allow my fiancé to be that kind of man. Makoto is pure and honest, not shallow like you. Everything you're doing now is hurting him. Suddenly, I laughed, but I could taste salt at the corner of my lips. So this was how she had seen me all these years, and everything I did was just so I could stand beside her with more dignity. You're crying. Willow panicked slightly and lifted a hand to wipe my tears. I turned my face away. Willow, I didn't bully him, and I won't apologize. Go check the surveillance, watch the footage carefully. And Velvety Warmth is my mother's work. It has nothing to do with you. Even if I lose everything, I'll still film it. Silence stretched between us. Hopeless. Willow threw down that cold word and walked away. 10 minutes later, a statement appeared online. Mr. Ito has never interfered in anyone's relationship. Everything I've done for him is my own choice. As for George, he suffers from delusions. Lu Entertainment has begun the termination process. 2 sentences nailed me to the pillar of shame. My agent called in a panic. Because of the Lu family's influence, several investors had already withdrawn, and Willow's only condition was for me to apologize. On the phone, Willow's voice was arrogant. In the background, Makoto was feeding her something. As long as George begs me, I'll reinvest. I didn't apologize. Instead, I grabbed my luggage and walked out of the apartment we'd lived in together for 3 years. David, worried I couldn't afford to film the movie, gave me all his savings. I shook my head with a smile. Don't worry, I have money. I'll fund this film myself. Tell the director to start as scheduled tomorrow. I didn't care about online attacks. I just wanted to shut them up with my work. Thankfully Willow offered to terminate the contract. Saves me the trouble. From now on, she and I have nothing to do with each other. Early the next morning, I flew to the filming location. The mountain village air was fresh, and I finally felt lighter. The first few scenes went smoothly, perfect in one take. Just as the director yelled cut, a voice rang out. This looks so fun. Willow, I want to try it too. My chest tightened. I never expected Willow to bring Makoto here, both dragging suitcases, no less. When the director asked why they were here, Willow casually explained. My assistant's been tired lately. I thought I'd bring him to a local BB to relax. Didn't expect to run into you. My heart thudded heavily. I feared more trouble was coming. Makoto came up, interrupting the shoot. Willow, let me try the wire flying rig too. Willow's voice softened, full of affection. Okay. She turned to the director. My assistant wants to try the equipment. You don't mind, right? The director looked at me uneasily. President Lu, our time is tight, and we can't let someone without training use the stunt rig. Makoto hugged Willow's arm, looking pitiful. President Lu, I'm just so jealous George gets to be an actor. Maybe I'm just too plain, not worthy of using things like this. Willow stroked his cheek gently. Don't envy him. Then she looked at me. George, get down. Let Makoto perform this scene. The whole crew froze in shock. The director looked even more troubled. That won't work. We hired professional actors. He's just... Willow waved impatiently. What's wrong with Makoto? He's younger, purer. This role might as well have been written for him. Let Makoto replace him. I'll invest another 10 million. Chapter 7. The entire set fell into stunned silence, waiting for my reaction. Expressionless, I shook my head. This project is funded by me. Please leave, or I'll call the police. Willow's face darkened. What did you say? I've already terminated my contract with Lou Entertainment. Did you forget? I have nothing to do with your company anymore. I opened my phone and showed her the termination statement. Willow stared at it for a long time, then gritted out each word. Don't regret this. She dragged Makoto away, muttering that she would give Makoto better resources in the future, 10,000 times better than what I had. I let out a breath and refocused. We filmed through the afternoon and were about to reach the most crucial scene when someone from props ran over in a panic. Director. Bad news, the longevity locket is broken. My heart lurched. I rushed into the props room. Makoto was standing there with a worried expression. On the floor lay the longevity locket, smashed into pieces. Blood rushed from my feet straight to my head. What did you do? Makoto's eyes reddened. I just thought it looked dirty and wanted to wipe it for you, but it slipped. I'm sorry. I'm too stupid. Willow immediately stepped in front of him protectively. Okay, enough. Makoto didn't do it on purpose. I know him. He's always clumsy but always well-intentioned. At worst we'll compensate you. I broke. Compensate? Do you even know what that is? That was my mother's keepsake. There's only one in the entire world. And don't lie, this wouldn't shatter like this from a simple fall. It's solid wood. This was smashed deliberately. Not to mention its value. This locket had a meaning that could never be replaced. A flicker of guilt flashed in Willow's eyes, but she still defended Makoto. What right do you have to accuse Makoto of doing it on purpose? You see dirt in everything because your own heart is filthy. I finally lost control. I raised my hand and slapped Willow hard. Enough. Get out. Both of you, get out. Willow covered her cheek and stared at me for a long time before pulling Makoto away, almost childishly. Tears blurred my vision as I knelt and gathered every broken fragment, carefully placing them into my pocket. The day after tomorrow was the wedding with the Sue family. These scenes were critical. I couldn't halt production, so I didn't bother arguing further. That night, while I was memorizing my lines, Willow knocked and entered. It's just a longevity locket. It wasn't worth much. You didn't have to make things so hard for him. Makoto felt so guilty he didn't eat anything this afternoon. I closed my eyes. Get out. I don't want to talk to you. You. Willow's expression twisted with frustration, her beautiful eyes wide. How can you be this stubborn? Fine, on the wedding day I'll give you a solid gold longevity locket. Will that make you happy? I was just about to say I wasn't marrying her, when suddenly a blood-curdling scream ripped through the courtyard. Willow, help me. Willow bolted out, and Makoto stumbled from another room, covered in blood. He collapsed trembling into her arms. Makoto, what happened? Who hurt you? Makoto cast a timid glance at me. His clothes were torn, and there were bleeding wounds on his arms and thighs. Willow panicked. Was it George? Did he do something to you? And no, it wasn't George, it's all my fault. He gritted his teeth, then suddenly knelt in front of me, sobbing loudly. I broke George's longevity locket. I deserve any punishment. Be but George, please. I'm begging you, don't have someone kill me. My ears rang. I stared into Willow's disbelieving eyes. George, what did you do to Makoto? Two young men, temporary crew workers, still confused, walked out of the room. The director and crew members gathered around. We were about to sleep when this guy ran in holding a bloody knife. We tried to tell him to calm down, and he suddenly started screaming that we were trying to kill him. Makoto curled into Willow's arms, crying harder. You're all together. I can't defend myself, forget it. I accept it, go ahead. Hurt me. I inhaled sharply. Makoto, don't make accusations without proof. There's surveillance here, Pa. Before I could finish, a brutal slap exploded across my face. Willow's hand was still frozen midair, her eyes bloodshot with fury. George, how could you be this vicious? Who else besides you would send people to hurt Makoto? Chapter 8. That slap crushed what little dignity I had left, completely grinding my face into the dirt. Even the people around us couldn't stand it anymore. David rushed forward. President Lou, this is too much. George has been filming the whole time. How could he possibly arrange something like this? The two temporary workers protested too. We never tried to kill him. We don't even know him. He was acting paranoid. Willow's expression turned ice cold as she shot them a chilling warning. From today on, you're banned from the entire industry. Then, holding the trembling Makoto in her arms, she gave me one last cold glance. You'll pay for what you've done today. After they left, I collapsed onto the ground, completely hollow. Within hours, the entire internet was flooded with scandals about me. The public outrage kept snowballing, but I still had to force my shattered heart to keep filming. Time was money. I couldn't afford delays. Yet halfway through the shoot, a group of people stormed onto the set with sticks in their hands. President Liu said George must quit the entertainment industry immediately. He'll never be allowed to film again. You dared to hurt someone President Liu cherishes. We're here to teach you a lesson. Before I could react, a heavy stick slammed into me. Chaos erupted. Even the crew members were beaten. Stop. Please, take the money. Just don't touch my mother's script. But those crazed fans wouldn't listen. They smashed every camera. They burned my mother's script. They even recorded themselves laughing. President Liu, look, he's coughing blood now. He definitely won't be filming anymore. We burned his script too. Let's see how he films now. No matter how hard I knelt and begged, they didn't stop. By the time the police arrived and drove them off, one of my ribs was broken, and I could only lie on a hospital bed hooked to IVs. Meanwhile, Willow had flown abroad with Makoto for vacation. In their vlog, Makoto leaned in and pecked Willow's lips. She looked surprised, but she didn't pull away. As I watched it, my phone buzzed with a message from Willow. Tomorrow is the wedding. If you apologize publicly to Makoto and announce your retirement from the entertainment industry, I'll come back to attend the wedding. Otherwise, the groom changes. Your wedding will be given to Makoto instead. She attached a photo. Makoto wearing the groom's tuxedo that was originally mine. Willow in a wedding dress, holding his arm. The two of them standing before a mirror, looking like a perfect couple. I moved my fingers. As you wish. As you wish. I will never marry you. David squeezed my hand, heartbroken, but I laughed. Don't worry. The more they try to destroy me, the more I'll prove that I, George, am not someone who can be broken. The script was burned, but I had read it tens of thousands of times. I could recite it backward. Enduring the pain, I poured everything inside me into the performance. With the last functioning camera, we finally filmed the remaining scenes of velvety warmth. When the rough, battered shoot at last came to an end, I bowed deeply to the entire crew and doubled everyone's pay. Then I grabbed my luggage and boarded a plane to the capital. During the send-off, David held my hand with tears in his eyes. I smiled at him. Don't cry. Your brother is going to get married. Smile when you send me off. After the honeymoon, I'll come back and take you to film the next project. David finally laughed and wished me a safe journey. When I stepped onto the plane, my phone buzzed. Willow was calling. I didn't answer. I blocked her number and gazed out the window. Willow, from now on, the mountains are high and the roads are long. We will never cross paths again. Chapter 9. When Willow discovered she had been blocked on WeChat, she was trying on wedding dresses. Willow, this one is gorgeous too. Try it on. Makoto's voice carried a sticky sweetness Willow once loved, but now, it only grated on her nerves. That's enough. Makoto, we should head back. Tomorrow was their wedding day, and the venue was already fully decorated. Yet the cold red exclamation mark on her phone screen instantly drowned out the last bit of hope in her heart. What on earth is wrong with George? He should be thinking about how to apologize to me right now. Willow clenched her phone so tightly that her knuckles turned white. Willow, is George still sulking with you? Makoto leaned close, his hand naturally resting on hers. How about we go ahead with the wedding tomorrow? I'll wear the groom's suit and act it out with you. I understand men. George is clearly jealous and wants you to coax him. He's definitely stalking your every move right now. As long as we hold the wedding tomorrow, he'll be jealous enough to come running to apologize. You've treated him too well in the past, so he doesn't cherish you anymore and keeps throwing tantrums. Only when he sees his true feelings clearly will he realize you're the most important person. Looking at Makoto's gentle, understanding smile, Willow reached out and touched his face appreciatively. Makoto, you really are the sweetest. If he were even half as sensible as you, I wouldn't have to worry myself sick every day. But maybe this is good. Let him learn his lesson. Makoto's last sentence struck right at Willow's heart. Ever since George entered the entertainment industry, the men who used to be clean and pure had become stained and unfamiliar. As she spoke, she immediately held Makoto's hand and let him take photos to post online as an official announcement. Two hands held together, wearing wedding rings, with the caption, "We're getting married tomorrow." The post exploded instantly. The girlfriend of dating influencer Makoto was Willow of the Liu Corporation, and the two were getting married tomorrow. Seeing the rapidly rising views and shares, Makoto beamed proudly. See, Willow, I told you this would work. George will definitely see it. If you add another spark to the fire, I bet he'll be begging for your forgiveness in no time. Willow chuckled lightly. Go on then. What else do you have in mind? Makoto's smile grew even brighter, a flicker of desire flashing in his eyes. Since we've made it public, why don't we go register our marriage at the Civil Affairs office tomorrow? Getting the certificate will make it feel more real. Only then will George fully believe it. Willow went blank for a moment. Get the marriage certificate? It was indeed stimulating enough to make George realize his mistakes. But was it too much? Even though a divorce certificate could be obtained afterward, there was still a 30-day cooling-off period in between. Would George be angry, hurt? Just as she was thinking, Makoto suddenly looked anxious. Willow, you disagree? Her expression instantly cooled. Makoto, that idea is a bit overboard. We already made the announcement, George will see it. Now we just need to wait for him to beg for forgiveness. Are you crying? Makoto gave a bitter smile, his eyes reddening as his voice trembled. Willow, I know how much you care about George, but you know how obsessive he is. You terminated his contract and cut all investment in his film, yet he still went into the mountains to shoot without making a sound. If you don't go through with this, George will immediately realize our wedding is fake and meant to trick him. That won't provoke him at all. Then he'll never listen to you in the future. I'm doing this for your sake, Willow. Seeing him look so sincere, Willow couldn't bring herself to refuse. Fine, tomorrow we'll get the certificate and hold the wedding. By then, she wanted to personally watch George go crazy with jealousy, and then lay down her terms. He must quit the filthy entertainment industry and obey her from then on. The thought of seeing George's panicked face tomorrow made Willow unconsciously curl her lips in anticipation. She didn't notice the flash of hatred crossing Makoto's eyes. Just wait, Makoto thought with cold calculation. Once we get that certificate, I'll officially become the son-in-law of the Mo family. And then, I'll make sure to grasp Willow's heart completely. Chapter 10. The next morning, sunlight poured brightly from the sky. Willow and Makoto stood early at the entrance of the civil affairs office, looking at the couples lining up. A sudden panic rose in her chest. George hadn't come home last night, and all his belongings in the apartment were gone. She knew he was throwing a tantrum, but she didn't expect him to go this far. Willow had her other assistant try to contact George, only to find that George had blocked every avenue connected to her. Willow flew into a rage. He's getting bolder and bolder. Fine, let's see how far he wants to push this. So early this morning, she dressed herself neatly and brought Makoto to get the marriage certificate. But now, even with the registration window right before her, her mind was filled entirely with George. Back in middle school, George had been handsome and tall, undeniably the campus crush everyone adored. But despite his good looks, he was never arrogant. She had once seen him timidly talking to a very unremarkable boy in class. Her curiosity toward George grew. After asking around, she learned, oh, he's the young master of the Wong family. His dad has several illegitimate children outside. Yeah, he may look good and come from money, but his status at home is low. His dad barely acknowledges him and his mother. Isn't his mom Jiang Muya, that famous screenwriter? I heard he wants to study acting in the future, but his dad forces him to study finance. Otherwise, he'll never even consider handing the family business to him. Willow felt George was pitiful, someone who seemed to have everything, yet was the loneliest inside. He was insecure, introverted, and always carried a subtle air of trying to please others. So one day after school, Willow followed him and struck up a conversation. You're from the Wong family, right? My dad saw your dad at a banquet last time. Our families sort of know each other, and we live close. I can walk home with you after school. The sparkle in George's eyes ignited something warm in her heart. 2. Time flew, more than 10 years of youth. It was her love that nurtured George, allowing him to grow into the towering tree he was today. The marriage alliance between their families was something she had proposed. And when George, with clear gratitude in his eyes, agreed to marry her without hesitation, her heart had leaped with joy. George is mine, she had thought. She wanted to give him a complete home, to make him happy. A voice snapped her back from her thoughts. Willow. Makoto tugged her wrist, smiling brightly. Willow, it's our turn to fill out the form. Willow stared blankly at the marriage registration form in front of her. The words seemed to sway and blur. No, this isn't right. People around them paused, their expressions turning puzzled as they glanced at her. Willow, Makoto urged anxiously. What are you spacing out for? Hurry up, I'm live streaming. Okay, the fans are all watching. Makoto then turned to the camera again, smiling widely. Don't worry, my sweet fans. My wife is just a bit nervous. After all, today is our big day. No, this wasn't right. The person she was supposed to marry was George, not Makoto. Enough. Willow screamed, slapping Makoto's phone out of his hand. She glared at him in fury. Who told you to live stream? Who told you to make decisions on your own and make everything public? My groom is George, not you. Don't you dare play these tricks with me. Makoto fell to the ground, disbelief filling his eyes. Willow, why didn't we agree? How do you expect the internet to see me now? Heartbroken, Makoto ran out of the building. Chapter 11. Willow froze for a moment. Hearing the whispers around her, she ran out to catch up with Makoto. Sorry, Makoto, I wasn't targeting you. I'm just not feeling well. Let's forget about getting the certificate. I'll take you home first. Makoto lowered his gaze. Hiding the venom that flashed through his eyes, he still put on an understanding expression. It's okay, Willow, I understand. Willow breathed a sigh of relief. Thank you, Makoto. That house you liked last time, I'll buy it for you. Consider it a reward for helping me act this whole thing out. Without giving him a chance to refuse, she sent Makoto home and told him not to live stream anymore. But the moment she left, Makoto went insane. He smashed everything on the table and cursed wildly. Why can't you forget George? Damn it, he should have died on set. He raged for a long while, then suddenly seemed to think of something and made a call. Instantly, his expression shifted into flattery. Hello, Maria. It's Makoto. I missed you. Willow tried everything she could but still failed to reach George. His empty home felt just like her heart at that moment. Luis, call George's friends immediately. Go check the clubs he frequents and the library. After giving the orders, another thought struck her. During an overseas trip, she had bought several collectibles at an auction. One of them, something meant for George, seemed to have been left at Makoto's place. It was a watch she had carefully selected, his favorite brand. Not the most expensive among the items she bought, but it suited George perfectly. She never said it was for him, and after bidding, it ended up mixed with the luxury goods she bought for Makoto. Now she needed to take it back, but when she drove to Makoto's building, she saw a luxury car parked outside. Willow recognized it instantly. It belonged to Maria, from a rival entertainment company. But Maria was a wealthy socialite. Why would she be living here? Her heart tightened as she went upstairs. The door to Makoto's apartment was ajar, and clothes were scattered from the entryway all the way into the bedroom. It was obvious how intense things had been. Standing at the bedroom doorway, she saw an obscene scene. Baby boy, you're so wild. Willow still hasn't touched you, has she? TCH. Someone like her, so fake and pretentious, why would she touch me? She's still thinking about George, but I'll win her over soon. Then I'll make sure she invests in your project. Maria laughed seductively, running her hand over Makoto's abs. You're impressive. I heard you were the one who encouraged Willow to ruin George's reputation. Makoto wrapped his arms around Maria, who was older than his own mother, and kissed her hungrily. Of course, I just acted pitiful, and Willow destroyed George's entire career for me. When it comes to acting, I'm the one who deserves that Best Actor award. Maria, don't worry. Sooner or later, I'll make all of Lu Entertainment ours. Chapter 12. The sounds coming from the bedroom grew increasingly filthy. Standing at the doorway, Willow felt her scalp go numb, and her blood rushed from her feet straight to her head. So everything had been a lie. Makoto had been deceiving her all along. She forced herself to stay silent, resisting the urge to storm in and beat the shameless pair to death, and quietly left. At the top floor office of Lu Entertainment, Willow slammed the computer on her desk in fury. Immediately, dig up every piece of dirt on Makoto. A few hours later, her assistant returned with a thick stack of documents in his arms. It's all here, President Lu. He hesitated. There are also some files about Best Actor George. You might want to take a look. The more Willow read, the more terrified she became. Her hands trembled violently. So back then, George had even gotten hurt because of her. At the time, a powerful figure from XX Entertainment had repeatedly tried to sabotage Lu Entertainment's projects behind the scenes, giving Willow endless headaches. During that period, George was extremely busy, so busy she barely saw him at all. She had thrown a huge tantrum because of it. Later, rumors broke online saying that the rising star George had been frequently visiting a certain entertainment mogul's private club, suspected of engaging in sexual transactions. The entertainment industry was full of fake scandals, but when it involved George's name, Willow would lose her mind. She had fought with George fiercely back then, and they hadn't spoken for a month. It wasn't until Lu Entertainment survived the crisis and George fell ill that she reluctantly reconciled with him, though a knot had formed in her heart. Now, as she looked at these documents, Willow finally understood. George had given up his own resources to stop the rival company from targeting her, and the visit to the club had been staged by that company's boss, who had forced him to drink. Willow shut her eyes. When she opened them again, murderous intent filled her gaze. Makoto. It turned out Makoto had been a serial scammer even in the past. He had slept with a female teacher in high school and repeatedly tried to break up other people's families. Later, afraid of being sued by the teacher's husband, he fled to North City for college, where he met her. George had never harmed him. In every situation afterward, it had been Makoto scheming behind the scenes. And she had hurt the men she loved most because of this vicious liar. Makoto, that damned bastard. Her assistant spoke carefully, trembling a little. President Lu, please calm down. Anger isn't good for your health. He had followed Willow for years and rarely saw her this furious. The last time she had looked like this was when someone slandered Mr. Wang right in front of her. That idiot wants to be my husband, doesn't he? Willow ran her fingers along a fruit knife. The cold gleam of the blade lit up her eyes. Tell him, the wedding will proceed as planned. She would let him understand exactly what price one paid for scheming and clawing his way to become Willow's husband. Chapter 13. An hour later. Willow called Makoto, her tone unusually gentle. Makoto, I think your previous suggestion can still be carried out. However, we can hold the wedding first. How about we hold the ceremony tomorrow? Makoto sounded tired over the phone, but after hearing her words, he instantly perked up. That's wonderful. Willow, I'm so happy. Oh no, I'm happy for George. I'll start preparing right away. I'll make sure to play my part perfectly tomorrow. As soon as the call ended, an assistant knocked on Makoto's door. Mr. Ito, these are the documents President Liu asked you to sign. Makoto blinked. What documents? Expressionless, the assistant replied. They're share transfer agreements President Liu specifically prepared as a reward for you. The moment he heard the word shares, Makoto couldn't contain his joy. Without even looking, he eagerly signed his name. After the assistant left, he fantasized about his future life as a wealthy man while going to shower. Seeing the ambiguous red marks all over his body, he grimaced in frustration. I need these to fade quickly. I was planning to seduce Willow in the next few days. If she sees them, it'll be over. Thinking about the riches soon to come, Makoto was too excited to sleep that night. The next morning, he arrived at the wedding venue as instructed. Inside the dressing room, he slipped into the custom-tailored luxury suit he had dreamed of. His heartbeat quickened as he admired the $1 million watch on his wrist. His vanity swelled, and he immediately started a live stream. Babies, I'm about to get married. Send me your blessings. Viewers flooded into the live stream, and bullet comments quickly filled the screen. Didn't they cancel the wedding? Why is there a ceremony again? Didn't Willow say she'd only marry George? What's going on? Makoto, be careful. You might just be a prop in their play. Makoto scoffed at their warnings. Don't misunderstand. My babies. My wife just misspoke last time. Her heart belongs only to me. As for that scandal-ridden so-called movie star, he's probably already out of the industry. The wedding began. Under everyone's gaze, Makoto walked step by step down the red carpet. At the end stood Willow, dressed in an exquisite wedding gown, stunning as a goddess. The sight made his cheeks burn and his heart race. It felt like his dream life was finally within reach. Makoto reached Willow's side and held out his hand. But the next second, the stage light suddenly went dark. Something cold snapped around his wrist, a handcuff. Makoto flinched. Willow, what is this? An improvised wedding performance? Hey, why are your hands so rough? In the darkness, Willow's voice emerged, cold, demonic, chilling to the bone. Open your filthy eyes and take a good look at who you're holding. The other end of the handcuffs was attached to a woman weighing at least 200 pounds. She looked over 50, with greasy hair stuck to her forehead, rolls of fat, what seemed to be skin issues, and a foul stench radiating from her entire body. Who are you? Let go of me. Willow, what do you mean by this? Why did you handcuff me to someone else? Willow stood to the side with her arms crossed. She smiled, but her eyes held no warmth at all. So, Makoto, do you like the wife I picked for you? Makoto's mind went blank. Wife? How could he, Makoto, have a wife like this? His wife should be a peerless beauty, wealthy beyond imagination, someone like Willow, a queen among women. Who was this monstrous creature? Hubby, I'm Laura, the woman said with a wide grin. President Liu has given me to you. You'll take good care of me from now on. I'll give you a big, healthy baby boy. The sour, stomach-churning stench of her breath hit him straight in the face. Makoto turned pale and dry-heaved. The next second, a group of rural couples rushed onto the stage, beaming with deep smile lines. They clung tightly to Makoto's arms. President Liu, this son-in-law you chose for us is great. He looks strong, good for the bed. As agreed, we'll take him back to our village now. Don't forget to transfer the money you promised. Willow smiled lightly. Don't worry, you'll get every cent. Makoto was dragged toward the exit, his face ashen with terror. Willow, what are you doing? Weren't you the one marrying me? You. Marrying you? Willow let out a cold laugh. Her eyes filled with disgust. You must be dreaming. You. Makoto, what are you? You think someone like you is worthy of being my husband? My husband has always been George. In my life, I will only ever marry him. Chapter 14. Makoto struggled desperately, but he couldn't break free from the handcuffs, especially with a 200-plus pound woman chained to him. No, I refuse to marry this pig. Let me go, or I'll call the police. Laura lifted her hand and slapped Makoto hard across the face. Who are you calling a pig? Let me tell you, I'm the one who slaughters pigs back in my village. And you still want to run? Listen carefully, once you enter our household, you can forget about ever leaving. You'll be working every single day. Hurry and come back to the village with us. Having children doesn't wait for anyone. Laura's mother jabbed Makoto's forehead with her sharp fingernail. You unlucky brat. You dare treat your wife like this before even entering the family. You need a good beating. Once you're in our home, there'll be plenty of chores for you. If you don't help our Jean give birth to 2 big sons, we'll break your legs. Seeing that Willow had no intention of rescuing him, Makoto finally broke down. Willow, what you're doing is illegal. I'm still live streaming. My fans won't let you off. Live streaming. Perfect. Willow picked up his phone, faced the camera, and spoke clearly. My fiancé has always been George. We grew up together as childhood sweethearts. Today should have been our wedding, but Makoto ruined it. And yesterday, Mr. Makoto personally signed an agreement stating he was willing to marry Laura. She immediately held up a document, the same share transfer agreement the assistant had given Makoto the day before. On the surface, it looked like a share transfer contract, but the attached clauses stated that he must marry the person Willow designated and must never return to North City. As for the shares, the company named in the contract was a debt-ridden empty shell. There were no real shares at all. Makoto's eyes widened. His voice cracked sharply. You tricked me, you filthy bitch. What did I ever do to deserve this? The viewers, who had just been insulting Willow, were stunned. Then Willow released the video of Makoto and Maria in bed together, along with even more incriminating evidence. She also retrieved the original footage of Makoto pretending to be assaulted on set and framing George, security camera recordings she had pulled up. Seeing each piece of solid evidence exposed, Makoto's legs gave out, and he collapsed to his knees, crying pitifully. I'm sorry, President Liu, it's all my fault. I shouldn't have been delusional and tried to hurt George. Please, spare me. I don't want to marry this fat pig. Save your words. Use the rest of your life to repent. Willow didn't even bother to look at him as she let Laura's family drag him away. The wedding venue erupted into chaos. Many reporters had already streamed the entire scene live. The explosion of drama sent shockwaves across the internet, but Willow didn't care about any of it. She opened Instagram and sent a message across the internet to George. George, I'm sorry. I misunderstood you because of many things before. Please, give me another chance. In her hands, Willow held roses and a ring, standing before a backdrop made of countless photos of George arranged into the shape of his face. Facing the camera with deep affection, she said she was waiting for her one and only groom to return. George, do you remember the promise we made when we were kids? I said that as long as you wanted to make movies, I would open an entertainment company just for you, and I would always be your strongest support. I would always shield you from the wind and rain. That promise still stands. If you are willing to come back, you will forever be my one and only groom. To show her sincerity, she even brought out 20% of her company's shares and offered them to George. The post instantly hit over 1 million likes and shot up the trending charts. Opinions online were mixed, but many were touched by Willow's bold, heartfelt pursuit, praising her as a deeply devoted woman. Others said that since Willow hadn't actually cheated in any concrete way, she could be forgiven. Satisfied, Willow nodded and told her assistant to buy more traffic. Hurry, get my post to the top of the trending list. George must see it. And have the wedding venue redecorated immediately. Once George comes back, we can walk into the hall together. The assistant rushed off to carry out her orders. She spent hundreds of thousands, finally pushing the post to the #1 spot on the trending chart. Willow exhaled, feeling slightly relieved. The post was extremely sincere. She was certain that with the bond between her and George, once he saw it, he would understand the secret signal from their childhood. But only a few minutes passed before an even more explosive headline was pushed to the very top. President Liu, something's wrong, look at this. The assistant handed her the phone with trembling hands. Breaking. Best actor, best actress tie the knot. My childhood is back. The iconic George Anna duo are married. Seeing this, Willow's mind went blank. Her entire body felt cold, as if her blood had frozen. No, this is fake. George loves me so much. How could he possibly marry someone else? Get PR to clarify immediately. George must be hiding somewhere waiting for me. I'm going to find him. But before she could step out of her office, a push notification popped up on her phone. George on a wedding live stream. With trembling hands, Willow tapped on it, and there, on her screen, was the man she had never stopped thinking about. George, dressed in a crisp groom's suit, standing at the altar, waiting for the bride walking toward him. Chapter 15. Inside the most luxurious hotel in the capital, white roses covered the entire hall, their fragrance filling the air. A grand wedding was taking place. I was wearing a handcrafted suit worth millions. Under the lights, I looked like a prince who had stepped out of a fairy tale. Standing beside me, Anna looked even more stunning, her features as exquisite as a painting. The two of us standing together resembled an artist's proudest masterpiece, perfectly matched. All the guests were celebrities or high society elites. There were also many international actors. Entertainment reporters were busy taking photos of the scene, eager to be the first to publish exclusive wedding highlights. I had also invited many long-time devoted fans of mine. Oh my god. This Best Actor times Best Actress centuryship is too pleasing to the eye. Woo woo. I can't believe I lived long enough to see them end up together. George is finally walking the road of glory, may he be happy forever. The host, also a well-known figure in the entertainment industry, couldn't help but sigh after finishing his opening remarks. Everyone here is an old friend of the showbiz circle. Feel free to chat openly. Today, since you two finally ended up together, do you have any stories or emotional journeys you'd like to share with us? Anna and I exchanged a smile, emotion swirling in our eyes. Of course we do. Our story is a long one. When I first entered the entertainment industry, my very first drama had me acting opposite Anna. Anna came from a family of traditional performing arts. She had always worked diligently in the field and never had any romance rumors with male actors. To perfectly portray a character, she once jumped into icy seawater in the dead of winter and had even been severely injured while filming action scenes. I deeply admired Anna's professional dedication and took her as a role model, but we argued all the time. We were originally an on-screen ship, yet also long-time rivals. We often clashed on set at the slightest disagreement. Anna had once mocked my acting so sharply that I'd always assumed she disliked me, but it was also Anna who, time after time, did everything she could to help me secure opportunities, shielded me from forced drinking during social events, and thoughtfully gave me hangover medicine whenever she saw I'd had too much. Once, when my low blood sugar acted up on set, she immediately dropped everything, went out to buy food, and brought it back to me. She would frown and complain about how uncouth I looked while wolfing down my food. Yet she secretly filled the locker in the break room with all my favorite snacks. Every little bit was her love, but at that time, I had fallen head over heels for Willow and was blind to any other woman. When I showed off, pretending it was unintentional, that Willow and I were engaged, Anna blew up at me for the first time. George, have you lost your mind? You're willing to marry just anyone? I shot back instantly. Wow, Miss Movie Queen. I'm choosing a wife, not a script. Who are you to tell me what to do? Anna called me a love brain, saying I'd regret it one day. And she was right, I was a love brain back then. Stubbornly defending Willow. We ended the argument badly, but not long ago, when I was being torn apart online and everyone avoided helping me because they feared Lou Entertainment, including fellow celebrities and other entertainment companies. It was Anna Sue who used her PR resources to clear the public opinion for me. It was also her who offered me a way out when I was terminated, saying that if I was willing, Sue Entertainment was ready to sign me anytime. When I had endured humiliation after humiliation and finally boarded a plane to the capital to find her, that proud, cold face of hers held nothing but distress for me. Don't want to marry me? Too late. A bet's a bet, you lost. Thinking about all this, warmth filled my chest. Actually, Anna and I got together thanks to a bet. But I want to make it clear, I didn't marry her just because of that bet. It was Anna who taught me that only at the lowest point of your life can you truly see who stands by you. May we spend the rest of our lives together, never parting until our hair turns white. In an instant, applause erupted from the audience. The diamond ring I had custom-made sparkled brilliantly under the lights. It was the only one of its kind in the world. I had personally crafted the ring setting myself, showing how much effort I had put into it. I slipped the ring onto her finger and looked at how perfectly it fit her ring finger. My eyes grew wet. The wedding I had dreamed of for so long was finally being realized by the woman standing before me. The next second, the host asked, "Mr. George, do you take Miss Anna to be your wife, to never abandon each other?" I heard my own clear and steady voice say, "I do." Anna and I kissed deeply, happiness overflowing from us both. But just when the wedding reached its climax, a sharp, furious voice suddenly rang out, "I object. You can't get married." Chapter 16. Everyone froze for a moment. Willow walked quickly from the entrance to stand right before me. Her eyes bloodshot, her dress was wrinkled, and the hair she always kept perfectly styled was now messy. Sweat covered her forehead. It was obvious she had rushed here. Even though it had only been a few days, she had changed quite a bit. Only the arrogance and self-importance in her eyes remained exactly the same. Willow stared at me intensely, her chest rising and falling violently. She had always dodged accompanying me to try on wedding outfits, saying she was too busy with work. So this was the first time she'd seen me in a groom's suit. My looks were striking, my aura exceptional. It made her heart tremble uncontrollably. And this handsome groom was supposed to belong to her. She would never allow anyone else to take me away. Willow said in a heavy voice, "George, stop fooling around. I know you're throwing a tantrum and getting jealous, but there should be a limit. How can you secretly marry someone else behind my back? End this farce right now and come back to North City with me. Our wedding can begin immediately." She reached for my wrist. Before I could even respond, Anna pulled me behind her in a dominant, protective motion. "Miss Lou." Anna narrowed her eyes. Breaking up a marriage is worse karma than tearing down 10 temples. What you're doing right now is pretty immoral. Willow glared coldly at Anna Sue, a mocking smile on her lips. Ha, I just didn't expect that the one stealing my men would be you. Queen Sue, enough. Stop wasting time. George, come with me. She grabbed my wrist, but I flung her hand off coldly. President Liu, you've crossed the line. I turned around and picked up the 2 bright red marriage certificates from the best man's tray. Sorry, but we've already registered our marriage as legally recognized husband and wife. If you try to drag me away in front of my wife, wouldn't that count as kidnapping? I originally planned to show off the marriage certificates during the lovey-dovey segment, but Willow's sudden appearance pushed the timing forward. Willow's pupils trembled violently. She stared at the certificates, examining them carefully until her eyes landed on the embossed official seal of the Civil Affairs Bureau. George, you must be doing this on purpose to upset me, right? You don't love her. We've been together for so many years. Her legs seemed to lose all strength as she stumbled back 2 steps. Around us, whispers began to spread. Many of the guests were fans who shipped me and Anna. These fans were battle-hardened veterans. They immediately rushed forward to confront her. Wow, you really have the nerve to say our queen is stealing your men. Exactly. Who even are you to him? Don't you have a boyfriend? Someone immediately pulled up the old lovey-dovey couple vlog of Willow and Makoto. The internet never forgets. Didn't you already go public with Makoto? And now you dare try to leech off our best actor's popularity. Right, traveling the world with Makoto, posting kissing videos. Are you not disgusted with yourself? Willow's face turned pale. It's not like that. Makoto means nothing. I never loved him. I only cooperated with him for vlogs to piss you off. I admit I had selfish motives. I wanted you to quit showbiz. But everything I did was to protect you. Hearing this, I couldn't hold back a cold laugh. Protect me? You really dare say that? Your so-called protection was letting Makoto slander me again and again. Letting him bully me. Your so-called protection was terminating my contract and smearing me online. Letting me take the full brunt of the hate. Your so-called protection was sending people to wreck my filming set and burn my mother's script. Willow's expression went blank. Wait, I never told anyone to burn the script. Anna let out a small, cold laugh, looking at her with open contempt. President Liu, are you suffering from early-stage dementia? PFF. I couldn't help but laugh out loud. If it's not dementia, how can someone forget what they themselves have done? Anna made an exaggerated "oh" of realization. I get it. President Liu, you probably spent too much time clinging to that Makoto and lost a few brain cells. Don't worry, we won't judge you. You can go to the Sue family's private hospital. We'll give you a discount. I squeezed Anna's hand. I had long known how sharp her tongue was. I didn't expect her to go even harder when facing Willow. No. I didn't order anyone to burn the script. Willow seemed not to hear anything as she desperately tried to recall what happened. Those people were acquaintances of Makoto. She only told them to pressure me into withdrawing from the industry. She never instructed them to burn the script. It must have been Makoto who told them to do it. She stammered, her lips trembling. Really, it wasn't me. George, please believe me. Your mother was so good to me. How could I ever burn her life's work? I waved my hand coldly. It doesn't matter anymore. Whoever did it doesn't matter. I've already finished shooting the most important parts of Velvety Warmth. The remaining scenes will continue smoothly. No one will stand in the way again. Anna held my hand firmly. You suffered in the past, but I promise, Sue Entertainment will shield you from now on. No one will get a chance to hurt you ever again. And besides, my status in the industry is something President Liu is well aware of. If I ever find out someone's eyeing my husband again, that person can forget about surviving in this industry. Chapter 17. Seeing the sweetness between Anna and me, Willow felt as if her heart were being sliced apart. Her lips trembled. She still wanted to say something, but the next second, 2 security guards suddenly stepped out from behind her and blocked her. I held Anna's arm, smiling in complete happiness, as if I hadn't been disturbed by Willow's intrusion at all. Anna kissed my cheek lightly, her eyes filled with tenderness. If I had known everything you went through, I should have stolen you away long ago. All right, let the wedding continue. Get the irrelevant person out. With that one order, Willow was dragged out by the 2 strong security guards, standing outside the doors. Hearing the endless laughter coming from inside, she felt the world turning completely dark, and raged to the point of trembling. Willow immediately sent someone to interrogate Makoto. Makoto confessed quickly. It was indeed him who ordered the script burned. At that time, Makoto had already been imprisoned by Laura, beaten every day, far too terrified to lie anymore. Willow's hands shook with fury as she ordered Laura, make him suffer every day. Don't give him food. That filthy bastard deserves to die. Laura accepted without hesitation and slapped Makoto twice, hard, right away. Listening to Makoto's pig-like screams, Willow felt no satisfaction, only guilt toward George. She opened her phone and scrolled through the photos of me, sobbing uncontrollably. I'm sorry, George. If I had found out the truth sooner, would you have not hated me this much? Unfortunately, I would never hear these confessions. After the wedding, the video of Willow trying to sabotage it shot straight to the trending list. The key point was, she failed. Her tag instantly changed from the devoted woman to the clown who tried to hijack a wedding. Netizens' comments were so venomous they might as well have been dipped in poison. They mocked Willow relentlessly. They even edited her crash the wedding scene into a meme remix video and uploaded it to Bilibili, where it quickly shot to #1 in the meme category. The fiasco even dragged down the stock price of the entire Lu Corporation. Meanwhile, my public reputation made a complete turnaround. Many people who previously scolded me squeezed into my Instagram to apologize, and they also helped promote my movie Velvety Warmth. I generously gave all of them the same reply. Thank you for your support. Velvety Warmth will soon wrap filming. See you in theaters. As for Makoto's Instagram, it was already flooded with hate. He hadn't posted a single response, no one knew what he was doing. But I didn't care. Anna had already booked our tickets to the country of romance. Here, your favorite, France, she said, returning to her usual proud tone. Who was it again that said taking photos under the Eiffel Tower feels magical? I smiled brightly, wrapped an arm around her waist, and kissed her. Queen Sue, you're too generous. Does this mean from now on you'll spoil me every day? Burgers, fried chicken, no limits. She clicked her tongue with a frown. Those three again. Do you have any idea how unhealthy they are? Do you want to become the fattest best actor in the country? She complained with her mouth, but she still spoiled me by ordering all my favorite snacks. During our honeymoon, I experienced the happiest days I had felt in years. Anna owned an estate in the country of romance. We woke early in the mornings to visit vineyards and learn the winemaking process. We took countless beautiful photos under the Eiffel Tower and in the lavender fields. At sunset, with scenery as perfect as a painting, she wrapped a small blanket around me and nestled into my arms to watch the stars. If life is a movie, then let's make every frame poetic. As I held her tightly, I realized for the first time that even a sharp-tongued woman could be incredibly romantic. And also for the first time, I understood that when you meet the right person, happiness comes effortlessly. The world was small. During our honeymoon in the country of romance, we ran into quite a number of fans. They posted the photos with us on Instagram and Ins, and soon many people were screaming that they were shipping us again. The Emperor times Queen ship trended for several days. Meanwhile, my phone kept buzzing with texts and calls from Willow. George, I'm sick. Can you come see me? Lu Entertainment is still keeping a spot for you. I'll give you the best resources. Director Zheng wrote a new historical drama. I fought hard to get you the male lead. Come back. George, how can you be so heartless? She sent me numerous long emotional messages begging for reconciliation. I was genuinely surprised. In the past, Willow had always acted superior in our relationship, never once considering my feelings. She often mocked women who acted like simps, saying, "A woman who becomes a simp has no self-respect. Throwing away your identity is pathetic." George, don't ever expect me to become someone like that. Yet now, she had lowered herself to the extreme, even offering me resources she once refused to give. I quietly stared at the messages on my phone. Anna was making soup for me. Seeing me silent, she approached with a cold expression. Oh, don't tell me you're getting moved by her crumbs of affection. Let me see. TSK. Everything she can give you, I can give you too, and mine will definitely be better. If Best Actor Wang could be brainwashed this easily, that'd be a real disappointment. Chapter 18. I kissed Anna on the cheek. Queen Sue, you've improved, you didn't roast me this time. I blocked Willow's new number without hesitation and spent a warm, peaceful afternoon with Anna. After our honeymoon, I returned home and resumed work. The second half of Velvety Warmth was completed, and the movie was soon released in major theaters. Because of my recent popularity, many netizens who previously didn't care about me ended up becoming fans and went to the cinema to support my work. Some people who originally weren't interested were moved by the protagonist's story, and even film critics, usually known for their harsh and sharp words, couldn't help but praise it repeatedly. George is an outstanding actor. I expect great things from him. Holding a bouquet of flowers, I stood before my mother's grave, my eyes wet. Mom, we finally made it. Your work has been recognized by everyone. Are you seeing this? Anna held my hand and bowed deeply to the gravestone. Mom, please rest assured, I'll stay by George's side and love him well. I won't let him suffer even the slightest grievance again. Sunlight fell upon our tightly interlocked hands, the warmth spreading hotter between us. The little daisies before the grave bent lightly in the breeze, as if my mother were nodding from the heavens. Time passed quickly. 3 months went by in a flash. After 3 months of sweet, sticky love, Anna flew abroad for filming. I never expected that beneath her proud and haughty princess-like exterior, she was actually clingy like a kitten. Every day she sent endless calls and messages. No matter how busy she was, she still shared her location with me, telling me what she was doing. And I loved this, because in the past, Willow often disappeared for long periods. I used to pace the house in anxiety, worrying but afraid to ask too many questions. Willow would scold me for meddling, and accuse me of being paranoid. But Anna always gave me peace of mind. With love nourishing me, my complexion improved a lot. One day, after filming a commercial, I walked out of the studio and saw Willow. She looked even thinner than last time, her complexion awful. I tried to walk around her and leave, but she grabbed my wrist tightly. "George, please don't go. I have something to tell you. The thugs who smashed your filming set, I've captured them all. They received the punishment they deserved." She pulled out a video. In it, those men were beaten black and blue. Some even had broken limbs. Hearing the wailing in the video, I looked at Willow with growing disappointment. "You think using violence to punish violence will erase the harm I suffered? Everything happened because of you. If you hadn't enabled Makoto, none of those things would have happened." Willow nodded sadly. "I'm sorry, George. I know it's all my fault. Please don't hate me." I shook my head. "Willow, I don't hate you. Hate comes from love. I don't love you, so where would the hate come from?" But she still wouldn't give up. "So marrying Anna means you're in love? How long have you even known her? You know how messy this industry is. Anna is a best actress. There must be plenty of guys around her. Aren't you afraid she'll cheat on you?" "Willow, what about you? Didn't you cheat on me long before anything else?" I gave her a contemptuous look. "My relationship with Anna is none of your business. Besides, I know my own heart well. I love her, and I will only ever love her. And you, haven't you cheated on me countless times? What right do you have to question anyone else's character?" I shook her off and got into my assistant's car, leaving without looking back. But I underestimated Willow's persistence. While processing emails, my assistant received yet another collaboration request from Lou Entertainment, the third time. "George, Lou Entertainment contacted us again. They insist on collaborating and are offering a huge profit margin. It's a project with the foreign director Peter. Lou Entertainment is heavily investing. Their condition is inviting you to play the male lead. What do you think?" I rubbed my forehead, exhausted. Willow had reached out so many times. No matter how many numbers I blocked, she always found new ones. Even after her mask was torn off, she was still clinging desperately, trying to win me back. While I was troubled over how to finally cut ties with Willow once and for all, another call came in, from a variety show. "Hello, George. Sorry to bother you. Would you be interested in joining our program?" I was slightly stunned. The show was called Heartwarming Kitchen, a cooking-based variety show I had always wanted to join. I loved cooking, often sharing small dishes with the staff on set. I had even trained my cooking skills for Willow's sake back then. Joining a show like this could boost popularity and improve my culinary skills, two birds with one stone. But when I was under Lou Entertainment, Willow had mocked the idea. "George, are you planning to switch careers and become a chef? You know I hate the smell of oil. You like showing your face on TV that much. You just can't sit still, can you?" I had felt wrong but didn't dare argue, missing the opportunity completely. Thinking about it now, Makoto once said Willow even took a chef's certificate test for him. Truly ironic. "George, the show will be filmed on a small island in the South Pacific. The filming is fully enclosed with provided accommodations. Will your schedule allow it?" I immediately answered with excitement. "Director, I'll join the program. I want to be the head chef." Chapter 19. The director was overjoyed and soon sent me the contract. With funding from Sue Entertainment, the production team immediately began promoting the show online. "George joins Heartwarming Kitchen," with a mysterious guest assisting. The post was followed by a video of me showing off my neat knife skills and whipping up a perfectly made sweet and sour fish within minutes. As soon as the news was released, netizens exploded with excitement. Never thought I'd live long enough to see my idol cooking. This show is a must-watch. I've already pulled out my little stool. Oh my god, George is the ultimate dream man, looks, acting, and cooking. If you knew I stan George, you'd agree I live a blessed life. The video comments were overwhelmingly positive, and I couldn't help but laugh. I realized that after leaving Willow, my career was skyrocketing as if someone had turned on cheat mode. Not only that, I gained unconditional support from the person I loved, and more than enough freedom. Anna never interfered with my choices. She only supported me quietly from behind. That alone made her 100 times better than Willow. While fans were collectively celebrating, Lou Entertainment could no longer sit still. Willow sat behind her CEO desk, her expression dark and frightening. In the video, I was smiling as I fed Anna a spoonful of chicken soup, asking gently, "Honey, is it good?" Fans went wild in the comments, saying they were shipping us like crazy, and even turned our cheek-touching frames into reaction gifs. Willow's eyes instantly reddened. "George, how could you fall in love with her?" Like a thief hiding in the shadows, watching what she once took for granted, her heart felt like it was being cut open with a dull knife, and she could do nothing about it. Her fingertips hovered over my face on the phone screen, but she couldn't touch me at all. Why? Why wasn't she the one standing beside George now? She simply couldn't believe George would love someone else. But every photo, every clip, every smile I showed, was one she hadn't seen on my face in a long time. These days without George had been unbearable for her. Every corner of her home carried traces of him. The more absent he was, the clearer his past kindness became. She took a deep breath and called her assistant over. Tell heartwarming kitchen. I'm joining this episode too. She had to seize every possible chance to stay close to George. No matter what, it wasn't too late to fix things. A week later, I took the production ferry to the small island where the show would be filmed. A massive filming base had already been set up on the island. A survival-type movie had been shot here previously. Dragging my suitcase behind me, I walked toward the camera, wearing casual clothes. I gave off an instant sense of warmth and approachability as soon as I appeared on screen. After my self-introduction, Willow appeared in the next moment. She also wore casual clothes. Her expression seemingly calm, but her eyes kept drifting toward me. My heart sank. Why is she here too? But since the cameras were on, I couldn't react badly. I could only force a smile. Once the other celebrity guests arrived, we exchanged brief greetings before starting the show. The first segment was a cooking competition. After each guest demonstrated a bit of their cooking skills, they were asked to deliver a short declaration. I had already prepared mine. Smiling at the camera, I said, I've never shown my cooking before, but I actually love to cook. I even created a few original dishes. I hope to show a different side of myself in this program. The host asked, So, George, what do you plan to make today? I noticed you avoided all the spicy dishes earlier. I tilted my head, thinking, my lover really likes the sweet and sour ribs I make, so I'll cook that. Actually, the reason I avoided spicy dishes is because I'm allergic to chili. I can't eat anything spicy. Not far away, Willow watched me intensely, her heart aching. She knew better than anyone how good George's cooking was. She remembered how every time George cooked for her in the past, she never treasured it. Once, she casually mentioned wanting to eat spicy boiled fish. George went and learned the dish for an entire month, then returned to make a perfectly authentic version for her. His fingers were covered in bandages from picking out fish bones for her. He had been choked by the chili so badly his eyes were red, and he kept coughing. When she tasted it, there had been a fleeting hint of amazement in her eyes, but she still responded coldly. You spent a whole month just to make this one dish. George, do you even know what's actually important? Now, recalling George's reddened eyes back then, Willow felt her chest tighten in pain again. Back then, George loved her. That was why she got to taste his cooking, why she got dishes made with such care. But now, he spoke only of his lover. When it was Willow's turn to speak, the host asked why she joined the show. She even choked up a little. I once did something wrong. I regret it deeply. I joined this program because I want to make up for something very important. Actually, I'm very good at cooking. I want someone very important to taste it. Chapter 20. As she spoke, she glanced at me again as if unintentionally. Hearing such words stirred absolutely nothing in me. I acted as though I hadn't heard a thing. A trace of pain swept across Willow's eyes, but it didn't last long before the host announced the beginning of the first segment. I quickly selected a few ingredients and began preparing them. There was also a young traffic star actor on the show named Tony, who stayed glued to Willow's side. Willow, sweetie, your fingers are so long, you look like someone who plays piano. Sweetie, I don't know how to clean fish. Can you help me? One sweetie after another, just hearing it made everyone's ears itch from irritation. Willow found him unbearably noisy and ignored him completely. Though her eyes kept drifting toward me, Tony noticed he wasn't getting anywhere but didn't seem to care. He even sprayed on more cologne and leaned toward Willow on purpose. But the more he did that, the cheaper he seemed. Another celebrity guest nearby couldn't help but complain. Why does the whole area smell like cheap perfume? Willow immediately stepped aside, clearly uncomfortable. She wasn't stupid, she had the ability to sniff out a pretentious coquette. Thinking about how she used to be just as ambiguous with Makoto, she wondered if that was why George had grown to dislike her. She watched me nervously, terrified that I might get jealous, but I was focused entirely on prepping my ingredients, didn't even spare her a glance. Willow felt humiliated. When Tony shamelessly came over again, she snapped, You can't do this, you can't do that, did you join the show to be a joke? With just one sentence, Tony's face flushed bright red, and he hurried back to his station. During the break, Willow approached me voluntarily. George, during the tasting segment later, let's switch plates. Willow's eyes were bright, though tinged with sorrow. We were together so long, and you never once tasted my cooking. Actually, I wanted to tell you. I learned cooking because of you. I even got a chef's certification. I cut her off coldly. President Liu, to be honest, this is pointless. I prefer to keep things clean. I don't like having any involvement with an ex. So during filming, Please keep your distance. If you can't do that, I don't mind walking off the show immediately. Willow instinctively grabbed my wrist. George, why are you being so cruel? I'm already trying so hard to win you back. Are you upset about that guy clinging to me? Didn't you see I rejected him? I don't need you to win me back. I pulled my wrist free and wiped it with disgust. It was laughable. Back then, when I cared about her relationship with Makoto, she never kept her distance. She even acted close to him right in front of me. Now that we have nothing to do with each other, she avoided a completely irrelevant minor celeb and came running to brag about it. Willow, that's enough. When we were together, I never once ate anything you cooked, but Makoto did. Everything you should have given your fiancé, you gave to someone else, and now that we're over, you suddenly want to be good to me. That only makes you seem cheap. And honestly, don't treat Tony so coldly. You didn't even reject someone like Makoto. Tony is at least an entertainer, better than Makoto's level by far. Listening to my merciless sarcasm, Willow's face turned pale, yet she couldn't refute a single word, because everything I said was true. Filming resumed, and I presented a plate of perfectly glossy sweet and sour ribs. Even the professional chef judge praised it endlessly. During the tasting segment, Willow didn't care about the cameras at all. She practically wolfed down the food. She felt as though if she didn't eat more now, she might never get to taste my cooking again. Meanwhile, Tony served a disastrous-looking eggplant dish and got eliminated in the first round. He tugged on Willow's sleeve with teary eyes, begging her to try it. Willow's face darkened. She ignored him completely. For several episodes in a row, Willow kept trying to get close to me. I was incredibly annoyed and eventually asked the director after filming ended, "Director, why didn't you tell me Willow was joining? If I had known she'd be on this show, I would never have come." "Don't worry. Best Actor Wong, a show is a show. If she bothers you, I'll have the assistant director keep you two separated." But my frustration didn't fade. To stop thinking about it, I focused entirely on cooking. The director, of course, was cunning. Everyone knew Willow and I had a history. Her joining meant guaranteed sky-high ratings. Sure enough, as soon as the behind-the-scenes clips of the first episode aired, netizens erupted. Why is Willow so shameless? My best actor Wong ignored her and she still brought up old drama on her own. I don't want to see Willow. I just want to watch my idol cook. A proper ex should behave like they're dead. Why is she plastering herself onto a variety show? No matter how badly people scolded her, Willow didn't care. Instead, she worked desperately hard, trying to catch up to me, just as Willow was racking her brain on how to win me back. The show's mysterious guest finally arrived. I had been zoning out until the doors slowly opened. Anna walked in wearing matching couple loungewear with me. Chapter 21. I froze for a moment and couldn't help calling out, "Anna." So Anna was the mysterious guest the production team mentioned earlier. I honestly hadn't expected it. She had hidden it so well, and she was supposed to be filming abroad. How did she even find time to come? Anna seemed able to read my mind. She blinked at me playfully, surprised. "Hubby." The camera immediately switched to a close-up of me. When my eyes met Anna's, it was as if my gaze brightened by a whole shade, carrying a hint of excitement. It was the kind of genuine happiness you simply can't act. Willow's face instantly darkened. "Why are you here?" "I'm here to support my husband, of course." Anna shot Willow a disdainful look, then wrapped her arms around me and kissed me. "Is that a problem?" "But honestly, I get to eat my husband's cooking every day, so whether I come here or not doesn't really make much difference." Then the production team played a vlog on the big screen, footage of Anna abroad, talking with the film crew. "My husband is a real chef in the kitchen. I'm insanely picky with food, and my favorite thing is his cooking. When does this show start airing? Can you invite me as a judge? I'll even come in as an investor." Willow's expression grew uglier by the second. I couldn't help laughing. "So you were planning this surprise for me all along?" "I had no idea. You're too good at hiding things." Anna replied with her usual proud flair. "I'm an acting queen, remember? How could I let you see through me that easily?" The whole crew was melted by how sweet we were, and with the messy triangle interaction between the three of us, the director immediately told post-production to add more special effects to that segment. After that, I kept interacting with Anna, sweetly feeding her, taking photos together. Willow clenched her fists so tightly that her lips trembled, but there was nothing she could do. We were a married couple with a certificate. She was nothing. When filming finally wrapped, Willow could only slink away with her tail between her legs. Back home, anytime she thought of George and Anna's interactions, her heart twisted like it was being shredded. Another 3 months passed in a blur, and Willow kept trying everything she could think of to contact me. She didn't even know what kind of spell she was under. She just knew that no matter what, she wanted to get back together with me. She took a step forward and pulled a thick little notebook out of her pocket, her eyes slightly misty. "But, could you give me one more chance? Let me finish these 100 things for you." I recognized the notebook at a glance and stiffened. Suddenly, I remembered, those 100 little things were a promise Willow and I made at the very beginning. Back when we were in the heat of our relationship, I'd asked Willow to promise me, if one day we fight or break up for any reason, we have to do 100 little things for each other. Willow had thought it childish at the time, but she still agreed. All 100 little things were couple activities to be done together as a pair, like kissing at the highest point of a Ferris wheel, taking photo booth sticker pictures together, going to an aquarium to see dolphins. That little notebook recorded the 100 things we were supposed to do together, though we never finished the list. Thinking about it carefully, it was probably around the time Makoto became Willow's assistant that we stopped doing any of it. George, give me another chance, please? Willow's voice shook as she walked toward me. You know I hate clinging and pestering someone, but when it comes to you, I just can't help it. I took a deep breath, my feelings suddenly complicated. Willow, do you know? I once almost died because of you. Her pupils trembled. What did you say? It's true. Do you remember when I was supposed to film the historical drama Phoenix? I had a tumor in my brain at the time and needed surgery, but just because your assistant Makoto said his friend wanted my role, you forcibly replaced me. Then your people shoved me off to the far northwest. The rough travel made my condition worse, and I had no choice but to undergo surgery out there. But the hospitals there couldn't compare to the medical facilities in North City. I had to grit my teeth and endure for half a year before I recovered. When I finally told you, you thought I was just jealous and competing for attention, and told me to stop making trouble. Seeing the bitter smile at the corner of my lips, Willow felt as if her heart were being sliced apart. She wanted nothing more than to beat herself to death. You can go investigate it properly now. Makoto must have peeked at my medical report, otherwise he couldn't have come up with something that vicious. If you really want to do 100 little things for me, then do me a favor, start by getting justice for the me back then. Chapter 22. Willow drove through a muddy dirt road and stopped in front of Laura's house. In the yard, a bloated man was feeding pigs, cursing under his breath. It was Makoto. He heard the horn, looked up, and instantly recognized Willow's car. His eyes lit up as he ran toward her excitedly. Willow, it's you. You came to take me back. Right, I knew you would. Before he could finish, Willow signaled the bodyguard, who kicked him straight into the pig trough. Makoto let out a scream that sounded exactly like a pig being slaughtered. Laura and her mother rushed out when they heard the noise. Seeing it was Willow, they didn't even dare to breathe loudly. President Liu, you're here. Is something wrong? Did this useless man anger you again? Willow lowered her head coldly, meeting Makoto's terrified eyes. I'm asking you, when George had a tumor in his brain, you already knew, didn't you? For a split second, guilt flickered across Makoto's face. What tumor? I didn't know anything. Willow understood instantly. Willow, please believe me, I really didn't know George was sick. Willow kicked him hard in the stomach, nearly folding him in half. How dare you lie? If you hadn't asked me to give your friend George's role, he wouldn't have been forced out of the crew. His condition wouldn't have worsened. You knew everything. You provoked George on purpose. You harmed him. Earlier, Willow had gone to the company to dig up the truth. Makoto's friend, who stole George's role, still wasn't famous, now a TikTok live stream seller. When Willow caught him and asked him directly, he broke down and confessed everything. In the video, trembling, he said, President Liu, I told you everything. It was Makoto who told me to steal George's role. He said as long as George died from the pressure, then your husband would be him. Makoto even has a notebook filled with detailed info about all the wealthy young ladies in North City. He attended a gold digger training class, studied everything about targeting rich women. Yes, he knew long ago that George was your fiancé, and he deliberately approached you. At that moment, Makoto finally realized he was completely doomed. He trembled as he tried to explain, but a loud, stinging slap cut him off. Makoto, you're courting death. I'll make sure you understand the price of provoking me. Willow threw a check for $500,000 at Laura. This $500,000 is yours, but I have one request. From now on, treat him like livestock. Work him like a beast. Make sure he never lives one peaceful day again. He is to work until he dies of exhaustion. Die. Makoto's body went limp with despair. He stared at Willow in disbelief. That would be worse than killing him. Laura understood instantly. She grinned as she took the check. Don't worry, President Liu. I'll make sure it's done. Laura's mother beamed. President Liu is truly a living bodhisattva. Don't worry. We'll absolutely take good care of him. Makoto cried hysterically, crawling toward Willow to beg, but Laura had someone drag him inside. The house soon echoed with his screams and wails, but Willow's car was already far down the road. Thinking about George's despair during that time, remorse washed over her in crushing waves. While Willow drowned herself in alcohol at a bar, George made another announcement. Anna was pregnant. In the photo, Anna was holding her baby bump, her face glowing with happiness. George's large hands rested gently over hers, his eyes filled with tenderness. The caption read, welcoming new life. A double meaning, welcoming the new baby. and also welcoming George's own rebirth. Seeing the post, Willow collapsed into her chair completely, unable to move for a long time. Chapter 23. I focused entirely on my career, and my popularity kept skyrocketing. After Anna became pregnant, I turned down most of my projects and dedicated myself to being with the soon-to-be mother. Anna, who had always been independent, worried I was wasting time by staying with her every day and told me to go work. I immediately frowned. With me, you are the most important thing. Filming, money, none of that matters more than you. We cared for each other deeply, and life was flourishing. One early morning, after breakfast, I held Anna's hand and took a stroll in the park, accompanied by bodyguards. Just as we walked down the shaded path, a dark figure suddenly darted out. George. Hearing that raspy voice, my brows tightened. It took me a moment to recognize the person in front of me. It was Makoto. But now, Makoto was bloated, and his face was covered in blotches. If he could still barely pass as handsome before, he now looked like a worn-out man in his 40s. Instinctively, I pulled Anna back and shielded her belly. You're Makoto. His eyes burned with resentment, yet he still collapsed at my feet, sobbing uncontrollably. George, I'm begging you, tell Willow to let me go. I don't want to be treated like livestock anymore. She threw me to a woman who weighs over 200 pounds. I'm tortured every day. I finally managed to escape. For the sake of the baby in your wife's belly, please save me. My heart skipped a beat, and the bodyguards quickly stepped forward to protect us. Sir, madam, be careful, he looks unstable. That statement seemed to snap something in Makoto. He glared at me with clenched teeth. Look at me now. How can you still live so comfortably and marry a film queen? I found his words pathetic. Marrying a film queen? Heh, in your eyes, am I only capable of climbing the ladder through a woman? Such short-sightedness harms others and yourself. Everything happening to you now is nothing but karma. Makoto continued shouting. You bastard. George, why do you get to live so well? All I did was try to separate you from Willow, and you deliberately ruined my life. You owe me. You have to compensate me. People doing morning exercise nearby started gathering around. I stared at him coldly, truly unable to comprehend how shameless a person could be. You, who forced yourself into someone else's relationship like a home wrecker, what right do you have to demand compensation from me? Cut the crap. Everything you have should have been mine. Give it back. He suddenly pulled a knife from his sleeve and lunged toward Anna, but before the blade could reach her, I lifted my leg and kicked him hard. My kick had tremendous force. It sent Makoto flying several meters. Clutching his stomach, he stared at me in disbelief. Impossible. How can you fight like that? I let out a cold chuckle. I've been taking a lot of action roles lately, and I've always known self-defense. Attempted murder. You'll get several years easily. Call the police. Soon. Sirens wailed in the distance. Makoto's last trace of hope collapsed. After hearing the news, Willow rushed over, terrified. George, are you okay? At the time, I was sitting in my yard sunbathing. I'm fine. I glanced at her calmly. My wife was just frightened. That's all. Willow sighed in relief, but the two bodyguards immediately stepped in front of her, preventing her from coming any closer. She bit her lip and looked at me deeply. Don't worry, I'll get justice for you. Makoto was sentenced for attempted murder, but honestly, prison was better than staying with Laura. Unfortunately for him, his cellmates were all psychos, specifically arranged by Willow. On his very first day, Makoto was tortured until he lost his mind. In prison, he alternated between laughing and crying, completely broken. A few days later, he committed suicide. Months passed, and everything finally calmed down. Willow disappeared completely from my life. Anna safely gave birth to our daughter. I named her Joy, hoping she would always live with joy, never sorrow. The film queen giving birth to a baby girl became trending news, and Anna and I handed out online red envelopes for several days. A few days later, I received a package. Inside was a handmade safety lock charm, almost identical to the one my mother once had. It was hand-carved by Willow. From the delicate craftsmanship, I could imagine how seriously she had worked on it. George, I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just hope you'll accept this as a gift for your daughter. For the rest of my life, I'll do good deeds and pray for you and your little girl. My feelings were complicated, but I kept the charm anyway. Behind me, Anna called softly. She was holding our baby in her arms, smiling gently. I put away the charm and walked toward my wife and daughter, filled with happiness. And from that moment on, Willow and I were truly finished, forever.